we first started working together, really, I was extremely tired, and I had gained quite a bit of weight, pretty much slowly, like over, I guess, the past 5 to 7 years, I guess, leading up to the point we started working together. We had just come out of a season where we had been foster parents full time for the last 5 years. And in that same period of time, I lost a parent. We've had kids leave for college, just a lot of additional stress. So some of the things that I tried were very restrictive, intermittent fasting. I had tried CrossFit, which was difficult for me to keep up with, as far as even like showing up. Coupled with that type of workout regimen, also was just an emphasis on keto. And so I was cutting out entire food groups and was very overwhelmed with things like counting macros. And I would inevitably give up. So it appealed to me that we were not cutting out whole food groups. I have a family that I need to feed. And so it appealed to me that what I was making for myself would be something that we could all eat. And the emphasis was on simple, which is definitely what I needed. And I felt like the approach was something that was sustainable to me, and it wasn't gimmicky. It wasn't something that was just based on a trend, a societal trend. It was something that was based on nutritional science. I also have epilepsy. And so it is really important to me that I started to treat my body much better. And I really wanted to pay attention as I'm getting older to that particular diagnosis. And a holistic nutritional approach with exercise seemed like a much healthier way to approach just who I am.
Along with that, I mean, we've been working together for, I think, almost like 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the results that you've experienced so far?
So, well, weight loss, number one.
Yay.
Yay. But that almost at this point is like a secondary thing to me, because I have, in the process of doing this, have created habits and rhythms for myself and my family that are sustainable.
That's the whole point too, that I tell people, like, we move really slow, but you won't even recognize your old self by the end of the program because you're doing things so differently. But during the process of it all, it's not overwhelming. So I love that you hit on that. So thank you so much for sharing that. And what would you say to someone who is looking to start their own wellness journey?
I would just encourage them to embrace a program like this that isn't focused on restriction. And I'm sleeping so much better at night. I think when we started this program, I was really dealing also with insomnia. And so all of it was just the perfect storm for entering menopause. And so I just thought I'll give this a shot. I don't know, but I can't keep doing this. And so I'm happy to say that is something too that I would never trade. What we've been able to accomplish together in the program is giving me the sleep that I need. And it's also giving me the energy that I need to continue to do 1% better.
I'm a 48-year-old wife, mother, grandmother, run my own business. Life is crazy. I've struggled with my weight for probably 5 or 6 years, but really in the last 2 years, I gained almost 70 pounds just from stress eating and emotional eating and stuff like that. Getting older, it's harder. It's much harder to lose weight than it was 20 years ago.
And so what are some things that you tried in the past to reach your health goals?
I've done keto. I've done the shakes. I forget what they're called. I just forgot what they're called.
There's so many, so I'm not quite sure.
And I mean, we've gone to weight loss doctors. I've done the B12 injections. I've done the daily fat blocker injections. Any crazy diet that I could come up with on the computer. I've tried the apple cider vinegar. I've tried the Slim Fast. I mean, you name it, I've tried it.
So what made you say yes to working with me?
Well, I found out my A1C was pre-diabetic, and that was kind of my wake-up call. I mean, before it was all about weight loss. Everything was, you know, my focus was on weight loss. And then when I found out my A1C was where it was, you know, it's scary. And that was kind of like my wake-up call. I knew that I had to do something to change my lifestyle. It wasn't about losing weight at that point. It was about getting healthy, period. And I trust you. When my time with you is over, I'm not worried about falling back, because my whole mindset is different. It's never been like that before. Never, ever have I had the mindset change that I have now.
It was turning 33, which something about that number felt like a big change to me. And I had recently moved to Georgia, which was another kind of big change, bigger than I anticipated change. And I am also kind of in the 33 years of my life new to exercising. I didn't know when you and I first started talking if I was eating too much or just too much of the wrong things. I didn't know if I was working out enough or in the wrong ways or doing the wrong things. And we were getting married. It was going to be about 6 months after you and I first started talking. And I had a dress and I loved it. I felt beautiful in it, but I was starting to feel stressed about like just how I looked in general. And I didn't want that to be happening on my wedding day. And I didn't know how to get from like where I am to where I wanted to be without help. What I really loved about talking with you and about the way that I felt like you approach fitness and nutrition, was that it wasn't about specific numbers, and it wasn't about really even, I would say that you have rules or like best practices, but it wasn't about restriction, tangible results and more intangible results. So on the tangible results side, there's obviously been changes in numbers that are a lot easier to kind of point to and celebrate. I'm down 2 dress sizes and a pant size. I know, very exciting. And my weight has finally dropped below 150 pounds, which has been like at least 5 years, I think. Like I was having a really hard time seeing the results of the work that I was putting in. And now like I love how my shoulders look. Like I see myself and when I'm working out, I'm like, yes, like get it. So like the shoulders are really great. And I feel like I'm finally making progress maybe on having visible ab muscles for the first time. Like that would be amazing. So definitely a lot of those tangible results. But I think on the intangible side, that's really where it's been even more exciting. My confidence is just so much higher than it was. And that feeling of like, dang, I look at, like I saw myself in a mirror, I guess it was over the summer. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's me. Like, and that was awesome. Like, I haven't felt that. I don't think I felt that way in my entire 20s. And that was really cool. I look at my wedding photos and I see, like, you can see in some of the photos, like the definition in my arms or the definition in my back. And I know that I worked hard to make that happen, and that feels really cool.
And so we've been working together for 6 months. You had been trying to, sound like, work out for like 2 years before that, weren't really seeing changes. On the 6 months, like you definitely have seen a lot of progress for sure. So, and we talked about, I don't really have those food rules. So talk to me, once we stop working together, do you feel like you would be able to actually sustain and keep doing what you're doing?
Definitely. And I think what has been really great about this is, again, going back to our first conversations, like you didn't say, cut out these 5 things forever and you can do what you want. It was all about really almost smaller changes. And I think that was one of the things that really surprised me, was the impact of a lot of small changes in aggregate. You took into account our entire lifestyle and gave us tools, but you didn't like really change the entire way that we were living, if that kind of makes sense. And I think like there's been a lot of really great benefits for us. We meal plan now, which has been just incredibly helpful, is great for budgeting, but also like makes us healthier. And it helps with, the both of us are working full time, and not having to make those decisions at the end of the day is great in a number of ways. I wanted information at the beginning of all of this. Like I wanted to understand what was a healthy decision and what wasn't. I wanted to understand why when I did X, Y happened. And I feel like I have that information now. And so I'm more confident when I'm in the kitchen, when I'm grocery shopping, when I'm at the gym, when I'm getting dressed. But when I'm talking to people now, I'm like, oh, like, let me give you this information.
This is Christy. I am 52 years old, and I'm in menopause. And so I had been seeing a doctor recently, about a year ago, and he had been encouraging me to lose weight. I was about 185 pounds. And every time I would go back to see him, I would gain more weight. So I started exercising a little bit more. I started running marathons, and then I started to lose a little bit of weight that way. I had previous experience using Nutrisystem, where you get the meals mailed to your home. And I was successful with that, but that was about almost 20 years ago, about 16 years ago that I used that plan. I was able to lose the weight, but I didn't keep it off. And then I tried Nutrisystem again a few years later. My husband was deployed again, and I thought for sure I was able to do it the first time, and it didn't work. I started running. I lost about 20 pounds, and then that's when I called my friend Melissa because I thought, first I was stuck, and then all of a sudden I started running again and running these half marathons. And then I was able to lose the 20 pounds. But after talking to Melissa, she said, well, you're doing 80% of your effort is on exercise and 20% of your diet, and it has to be reversed. I saw her videos on Facebook, and I thought, oh, she's going to help me, because she's been my friend for more than 10 years, and I know her and I trust her.
So explain a little bit about what your experience has been working with me.
Oh, I loved it. I have loved it. It's been very educational. It's like just talking to a friend, very encouraging. I really enjoyed speaking with her, the counsel that she provides, looking at the meal plans, planning the meal plan. I was kind of resistant on that initially. So we did like a 3-day-a-week meal plan. And then when it was time to transition to a 5-day-a-week, I kind of dragged my feet a little bit, but then we did it, took off the Band-Aid and did it. And it's been great. So when we started the program, we set a goal for me to lose like half a pound a week. And I lost a total of 7 pounds, which is more than half a pound a week, and 9 inches. My clothes are bigger. I'm having to go down a size, and I just feel good about myself. I don't have 4 chins. I get complimented all the time on how I look. So in the end, I'm very, very pleased with the results. And it's something that I will use and continue to plan the meals and grocery shop and look at my plate and learn and take with me everything that I learned from Melissa.
What would you say to someone looking to start their own wellness journey?
I would say to call my friend Melissa. I would say to call my friend Melissa. I really encourage a lot of my friends to reach out to Melissa, because it's very not intimidating. She's very friendly. She's very easy to talk to, approachable. And I would encourage you, anybody who's looking for some change, either nutrition, diet, exercise, to call Melissa.